So today we're talking about nonlinear systems. A nonlinear system is a system of equations in which one or more equations are not linear. So one of them might be a parabola, a circle, an ellipse, or a hyperbola. The solution set to a system of equations is the set of points in which the equations intersect. So very similar to systems of linear equations, you're looking for where they intersect or where they cross. They might have one solution, which would be an ordered pair xy. They might have multiple solutions, so multiple coordinates, or no real solutions, which we could do as no solution. So we're going to practice this a little bit. So if I had this top equation is a parabola. So to graph a parabola, I'm going to start with the y-intercept here is positive 7. So I know I have the coordinates 0, 7. If I substitute a 1 in place of x, that would give me 1 squared, and then I have the negative in front, so negative 1 plus 7 is 6. So I have the order pair 1, 6. I could put a 2 in place, and the 2 going here would be 2 squared, which is 4. The opposite of that would be negative 4 plus 7 is 3. So I'm going to try a negative 1, but what you're going to notice is this is starting to come down. So my guess is that this is the vertex, and so if I put a negative 1 in, negative 1 squared is 1, the opposite of that is negative 1 plus 7 is 6, so I know that I can mirror on the other side. And so my rough sketch of my parabola would be something like this. Then I'm going to graph the other. This is linear because there's no squared. So I start, it has to be in y equals. I start at the y-intercept. And my slope is 1 over 1. So up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and down 1, left 1. And so we're going to notice quickly that it intersects in 2 spots, here and here. So these 2 spots are the solutions. So you would have the ordered pair 1, 6 and negative 2, 3. So that's if you're going to graph it by hand. Now I'm going to show you another way to do it in the calculator. So these are both in y equals. So I'm going to grab my calculator, make sure it's cleared out, go to y equals, and I'm going to type those in. So it would be 2x squared minus 8x plus 3. And the other equation is negative 2x minus 1. And so I can go to a graph and I can see that it is intersecting in 2 places. I could go to the table and I could look for, I'm looking for when they have the exact same point. So negative 1, negative 3 is the same, and 2, negative 5 is the same. So that is going to be my 2 solutions. Then I'm going to show you another way. So number 3, this one, the parabola is in y equals. This is not in y equals. To put it in y equals, I would subtract x, so we get y equals negative x minus 2. So I'm going to go into my calculator, go to y equals, clear them out, and I'm going to type in to my first one is x squared plus 6x plus 4, and then y equals negative x minus 2. So when I go graph, I can see that it does in fact cross. So we're going to practice a different way. So we're going to go second calc down to intersect. It hops on one of my lines, so that's great. It hops on the other line, that's great. I put guess, that's great. So my intersection is negative 1, negative 1. So that's one of my answers. So I'll just write it over here. But I also know it intersects over here. So in order to see that, I'm going to have to go back to second calc, down to intersect, and this time I'm going to move this closer to the other intersection enter, enter, enter. So my other intersection is negative 6, 4. And so you can use this method the rest of the time as long as it's y equals. So this one I would subtract 4x to both sides, and I would get negative y equals negative 4x plus 5. Then I would divide by negative 1, so I would get y equals 4x minus 5. Now I have them both in y equals, and when you graph them on your calculator, you would get negative 1, negative 9, and 3, 7. Couple more examples we're going to do. Number 5 is both in y equals. Now these are both parabolas. So these parabolas are going to intersect in 2 points, and it would be negative 3, 0, and 0, negative 9. And I am rushing so that I can show you number 7. So we're going to skip 6 and 8, 9 and 10, and just focus on number 7. So in number 7, when we type this in, we would have negative x squared minus 6x minus 11. And then the other one is x squared minus 4x. So when we click graph, what you're going to notice is these do not intersect. So when you have two, either a line and a parabola or two parabolas that never would cross, then your solution would be no solution. So that's real quick over today.